this is what most people have to understand. You got to be competitive in life. If you're not competitive in life, you're never going to get a competitive advantage. I was doing about 2 to 4 deals a month. For the next 18 months, I was making about $55,000 per month. I hit $1 million in 18 months flat. But the champion behind me had to be pulled out, man. And there's different levels of champion in everybody.
Yeah.
There's different levels. You gotta get good at one thing. It takes years to get good at one thing. See, most people don't understand this. God has the back of people who are trying.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Macro Show, your number one show for personal finance and all things money. Today, I'm sitting down with my boy, Alex Inman from Atlanta. I actually just met him yesterday, but he honored me by joining my show. So we're gonna go through his relationship with money. Alex, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me, Forrest.
For sure. So since we just met and my viewers haven't met you yet, maybe give me your 1 minute backstory. We're going to go through your whole life, but yeah, who are you today and what should people know about you?
So like I said, my name's Alex Inman. I grew up in a small town called Griffin, Georgia. I'm one of 8 kids. So grew up in a big family, and I did everything that everybody says do growing up, which is go to school, get a good job, the whole 9. Well, the thing about me is I'm not that book smart. It took me 7 years to graduate college. I had to start off at a junior college, then I went to another junior college, then I finally went to a university. It took me 7 years to graduate college, and I graduated college and couldn't find a job. So the first real job that I got out of college was a sales job. Everybody ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yep.
I was on a sales floor like that for 7 years. That's where I learned everything that I know today. I learned persistence, I learned determination, I learned grit, I learned mindset, I learned the will to win. I left that sales industry and I started a couple businesses, and I stumbled upon this little niche in real estate called wholesaling in 2020. It took me 9 months to get my first deal, but after I did my first deal, I made $1 million 18 months later.
Nice.
And then I made $2 million, and then I made $3 million, and I was able to change my life. Today, I'm 39 years old. It took me 35 years to find the thing that was going to work for me. So most people have to understand is that you're probably looking for that dream opportunity right now, but you may not find your dream opportunity until 10 years from now, until when you're ready, because you got to train for 10 years. You got to train your mind for 10 years. You got to train your whole aura about yourself for the next 10, 15 years until when you do cross that opportunity, you are ready for it. And that's what happened to me.
Dang, bro, we're 1 minute in. You're already dropping the knowledge, bro.
What games, bro?
The heck, man?
I didn't shortcut where I got here today. So this is why I'm able to spit like this.
Yeah.
I told you I was bred on a sales floor.
Yeah.
So I had to be able to pour into a person, a complete stranger, on why they should buy this product. My goal was to get a person's social and credit card within 30 minutes. Like you got to be good at talking to do that.
Yeah.
You got to be able to close. The average person, they would have 0 chance of doing that. 0.
Right. So let's start with, so obviously you said it took 35 years, and I agree with that sentiment completely, right?
Right.
People often look at us as a snapshot of right now, right? So when people meet me, they're like, oh, this is Forrest as I am now. Mm-hmm. He's probably always been this way.
Right.
Wrong, right? This is version 3.3, right? It took me 33 years to get to today. So let's go back to your childhood. You said you went down the normal path, right? Went to college, did all of that. So let's talk about, how did you grow up, right? One of eight kids, right? Big family. So what was your perception or viewpoint on money? Kind of what was the perception and viewpoint of money that was kind of given to you by your parents as well, or just your community?
So growing up in a household where you have a lot of siblings, right? My viewpoint on money, it wasn't really developed until I kind of got in high school.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't one of these kids to where it's like we were just dirt poor, to where it's like my dad couldn't give me $20 for, candy at school or some, I played baseball a lot growing up.
Okay.
So if anybody that knows about Little League, you'll go to the concession stand. You always want to go to the concession stand and get candy. I always had little money for that, right?
Yeah.
My dad would give me money here and this and that. And then as I got older and got into high school, my parents started to tell me, it's like, nah, we ain't buying you those Jordans. Like, no, we ain't buying you for it. I was like, damn, I got to start working for these J's.
Gotta get 8 pairs of Jordans.
Right, listen, bro. If you in high school and you wasn't crazy about Jordans, I don't know what you was on. Most normal kids loved the J's, bro.
Yeah.
So I was a Jordan guy. I wanted the Jordans, but I didn't have all of them. There were other kids in the school that had them, but not me. Of course, my dad had the money for it. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
So I had to start like figuring out how to make money in high school.
What did that look like?
One of the things I started doing in high school is I started gambling. Anybody even know the game of flipping quarters? Mm-hmm. To where it's like, all right, I got $1, you got $1. I bet it goes on head. I flip it, and if it goes on tails, I lose $1 and goes to him. I started gambling, bro.
Well, 50-50 odds.
50, bro.
That's crazy.
You can make a lot of money fast, but you can lose a lot of money fast too.
Right.
So I was doing that. What else was I doing in high school? And because I wasn't like working, I kind of lacked in high school. I didn't get all the J's that I wanted. So what I had to start doing was I just had to start doing little things here and there to just hustle up the money, because if anybody knows anything about high school, bro, all you care about is being fly, bro. That's all you care about. It's like, how can I be the freshest when I step off in school in the hallway? All that matters is the breaks between class. Right. If you were wanting a cornball in high school, then you know what I'm talking about.
Posted up against the locker.
Posted up against the locker. I was trying
waiting for so and so to walk
exactly.
by.
Exactly. So what I had to start doing was I had to start hustling up money to be able to get these J's. And then what happened was I took it a little further. I started hopping on the internet. This is early 2000s. And I started finding the J's before they came out. So I started getting Jordans before they came out. And obviously they were fake. I didn't know they were fake at the time, but this was 2003. I was doing this. So that right there built the passion in me. It's like, man, I got to figure out how to make some money. So when I got out of school, I did the traditional route, which is go to school, but I didn't start off there. My first job out of school was Zaxby's.
Okay.
Zaxby's was my first job out of school. And all I would do with my money, bro, was figure out how to buy more shoes and Jordans. Like,
right.
that's all I wanted to do, because I wanted money to be fly. I wanted to look good, right? So my relationship wasn't this just, okay, I got to ask my mom and dad. I'm like, they ain't giving me the money no more, man. I got to go work. But I'm thinking in my brain is that, okay, well, the money's in college, is because that's where they're telling me to go.
Right.
So that's what I did. So when I got out of high school, I started at a junior college. My grades weren't that good in high school. I was like a C student.
Yeah.
So that's good enough to get you in a JUCO. So that's why I started out. And I started out doing that. And I started out hustling, selling shoes and painting shoes for people in college. Because what I would do is I wanted to be fly, so I painted my own stuff. So I would take the white Air Force Ones and listen, if you ain't grow up wearing the white Air Force Ones, I don't know what you was on. Everybody had them.
I was a Chuck guy myself.
You was a Chuck guy? Okay, cool. I was the white Air Force Ones kid, right?
I had a custom Chuck, so you know, with the double, you remember when the double tongue came out?
I know,
Bro,
I remember.
Yeah.
So the thing is you can have a million color Air Force Ones, right? So I wanted my own custom pair. So what I would do is I turned my mom's basement into a art studio. It's still an art studio till this day.
Word.
She didn't move my stuff. My stuff's still in the basement till this day. So I would just paint my Air Force One, and then when I would go on college campus, people would be like, bro, how did you get those? Where did you get those from? Bro, this is 2005, 2006, bro.
Yeah.
I was way ahead of the game. So what happened is people started asking me, bro, like, how'd you get those? How can I do it for you? I want some. So what I would do is I started taking orders of people. They would give me their shoes. I would paint them for them. I would charge them $150, $200, and I would hand them over. And bro, I started a custom shoe company in college. Didn't even know it. I was just doing it on the side. Right. That's how I was hustling up money in school.
Yeah. So no LLC at this time, but this was like,
bro, I didn't even know what an LLC was, bro.
Right. But this was your first essentially business venture.
That's right.
Right. Where the market wanted something,
That's
skill
right.
you had, and you were like, word, I'll make that.
That's right.
So you do that through college. How big did that business get?
It got to the point to where I was able to have money in my pocket.
Yeah.
Through school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was able to have money to do what I need to do, gas, this, that, da. Like, you know, my dad would only give me money. It was like an emergency. He's like, all right, bro, here, da. But other than that, I was doing that, hustling through college, just painting and selling shoes. Because, bro, if you think about it, bro, college is just a big-ass fashion show, bro. Everybody's just trying to be fly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So especially in those days, so that's what I focused on, and that's what I did to hustle up to make money.
Were you wearing suits at the time, or that was a later?
No, bro. I couldn't afford a suit at that time, man. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right. So how did you, I guess you went to college, how did you pay for school? Was it scholarship, parents, out of pocket, loans?
So I would do the loans.
Yeah.
I took out the loans.
Yeah.
I did it exactly what everybody used, FAFSA. I think that's what they used to call it. What?
FAFSA.
I would take out the loans, and it wasn't until later I realized, I was like, hold on, I owe these people a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, I owe 40 G's, and they're like, I ain't even learned shit. Like,
Right.
what's the point in that?
That's the conversation so there's a men's group here in Miami. We were talking about college with some of the dudes afterwards, and like the value proposition today, right? So I think college I have a mixed view on it, right? I feel like for a lot of people, for me at least, coming from my small town, like I didn't even want to go to school. I did martial arts. I was going to teach martial arts. I was going to open a martial arts school.
That's smart.
Teach martial arts my entire life. When I went to college for me, this isn't necessarily for everybody, but for me, opened my eyes to what was possible, right? Did it cost too much?
What do you mean by that?
It was the first time I met people from different realities, right? So I grew up in like outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And so my worldview was limited to my friends who, I mean, good
Your
people.
worldview was outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
Right. So
Right.
when I went to college, it's like, yo, you meet somebody from Texas. I met a dude, his dad was like in the mob, like legit. I met people and I was like, oh yeah, like there are other people. There's more to life. Now, did it cost too much? Hell yeah. It was.
Right.
It's crazy. So when people come to me and are like, yo, people shouldn't go to college anymore, I'm like, well, you shouldn't pay.
Right. It's a double-edged sword.
You shouldn't pay
Right.
too much for college.
Right.
But the opportunity to be exposed to new ideas, learn stuff, because even like my success today, I contribute 100% to the fact that I went to college. I would not have done the things that I did had I not went to college. Now that's not the same for everybody.
Right.
And I would say like for anybody who's looking at school and it's $100K a year, do not go to $100K a year school. That's
Right.
crazy. Like find a cheap, like if you're gonna go down that route, find like a cheap state school, get some scholarships, or like
Right.
go to a junior college,
Get it paid for.
go to community college for 2 years, like do
Right.
something to make it economical. But
Yeah, college is what you make of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
college is for some people and college is not.
Yeah.
Like if Zuckerberg didn't go to college, that would have been a big mistake. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
like certain people, college is critical. It'll change your life. You'll meet people and get opportunities and this and that. But see, most people ain't Zuckerberg though. They ain't locked in a dorm room trying to create nothing.
It's funny
They
you
just
say that.
partying and drinking and trying to screw. It's like for most people, it's a waste of time. Yeah.
Right, facts. And I know people who went, they partied, racked up debt, and then quit.
Right.
And it's funny you bring up Zuckerberg because people are like, oh, Zuckerberg dropped out, Bill Gates dropped out. But it's like,
Bro,
yeah, but
if
they
it wasn't
built
for the school, it wouldn't have happened.
they
though.
built the company with the people they met at college.
People so stupid. He's like,
Right.
well, they dropped out, bro. If you had one of the greatest social media tools at your fingertips, you would drop out too. Stupid.
Right, he was
Why
making
Why would you sit in class all day when you have something that's going to change the world? Yes, you drop out.
Right. But regular Tommy who just is drunk on Tuesday.
Tyrone and
Right.
Ray, of course, they think yeah.
So you go to school, right? So that was your first experience, I'd say, in entrepreneurship, not making money. You probably had jobs, but
it was my first experience in entrepreneurship. I loved it.
you graduated. You said it took you 7 years. You graduated. You get a job. You couldn't find a job. So what was your degree and what were you trying to find a job in before you went
Right.
into
So
sales?
great question. So my degree was in marketing.
Okay.
Because I just never, like, when I was going to junior college, my degree was general studies.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they were like, what do you want to study? Shit, I don't know.
Anything?
Anything in general, really.
Right.
So I just took general studies, right? So because I didn't know, like, I just wanted to make money. It's like, bro, where's the money, bro? You know what I'm saying? Y'all telling me to go to school, parents or whatever, TV society, but where's the money, man? I'm in class all day. I'm sleep half of the time. I'm texting half of the time.
Yeah.
I'm figuring out what chick I can get up with. I'm trying to figure out how I can leave. Sometimes I don't even go.
Yep.
I just want the money, man. But I stuck with it because I was like, I'm not going to just start this thing and just quit. Finish it. I said, I'm going to finish what I started. Even though I don't want to fucking be here, I'm going to finish what I started. I don't know if I can curse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can curse.
I was like, I'm going to finish what I started. You know why? Because I don't want to hear my mom's mouth. I don't want to hear my dad's mouth. I've already spent 5 years going to school now. I've built great relationships. I even joined a fraternity. I was like, I'm going to make this college thing worthwhile. Like, why am I here? Let me do something. So I joined a fraternity. I made some good friends. But then I graduated, and it was like everybody was looking for experience when I started applying for jobs. I'm like, I ain't got no experience.
Right. I was at school.
I was at school.
Right.
What's the point? Bro, reality started kicking in quickly after I graduated. And this is what most people have to understand. It's like, bro, this degree is not no get out of jail free card, bro.
Nah.
It's a piece of paper. See,
That's the other shoe that drops.
Right, the degree is you, is what you do. So I quickly learned that within the first few weeks after graduating. I was like, oh, okay, this is how it is. Let me get out here and hump it then. Let me look for something.
Yeah.
And man, my first job out of college was luckily from a frat brother. So luckily me joining the fraternity worked out. He said, hey man, this lady's looking for a leasing agent at this apartment complex. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll go on the interview. And because he gave the great recommendation, she was like, okay, you seem cool, sharp. By this time I had some suits. Yeah. I had 1 or 2 suits at this time. Right. So I got the job, and I just started out as a leasing agent. And it was cool. You know, I think I was making, at the time, maybe $500 a week.
Yeah.
You know, and it was enough to be able to pay for my apartment, et cetera, gas or whatever. I wasn't being able to expose my inner beast.
Right.
See, the thing is everybody has an inner champion inside of you. But that champion is put on the bench if you're not in an opportunity where the champion can thrive.
Describe the champion, right? So you're saying everybody has an inner champion, like a champion, like they're like a winner or somebody who's looking to win or looking to compete. Like, how would you describe like?
Yeah, let me give you an example. Yeah. So the average guy, right? If I just take the average guy and he's walking on the sidewalk and then he's hearing these footsteps and he looks back and there's a pit bull chasing him. Do you think he's going to be able to run a little faster if he's just in a foot race between me or you?
Oh, than a pit bull?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to run faster in which situation? Let's say he's racing you, and then he's getting chased by a pit bull. Which one he's going to run faster?
Pit bull.
The pit bull all day long. See, people aren't in an environment to where they're forced to run.
Right.
They're not forced to.
I was a runner. I ran in college.
Right.
So
My analogy makes sense, right?
It holds.
It holds.
I was running every day of my life.
Right. So here's the point, everybody. The point is if you're a guy who's working an office job, you're at your computer all day, bro, you're not forced to run, bro.
Right.
You're not forced to run. But if I take that same guy and I drop his ass in a neighborhood and he has to now sell solar door to door, oh, you're going to be a little more motivated, bro.
Right.
And this is the only thing you can do, by the way. There is no other opportunities. God comes down and says, hey, Mike, you're now selling pest control door to door. And you're doing this for the next 6 months. Oh, you're going to figure out how to sell pest control.
Or you don't eat.
Or you homeless.
Right.
See, the thing is most people aren't put in situations or environments to where they're forced to be a champion. I was put in an environment so I was forced to be a champion.
Yep.
This is why I look like a champion. Yep. This is why I talk like a champion. I wasn't like this 12 years ago. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't forced to. There was no pit bull behind me, running behind me. But see, that job I had, 10 months later, they fired me. They let me go. It wasn't that I did nothing wrong or bad. It's that when companies start cutting back, they start cutting back usually the dead weight or the fresh guy or the new person or this and that. I wasn't in the in crowd in that company. I was only there 10 months. The people who were there for a while, they stayed. I was cut and let go.
Yep.
So here it is. This is circa 2012. Taking you all the way back. I'm now got this car note, insurance, gas, food, rent, and no job.
Perfect.
Thank you. Perfect. Most of them be like, oh, damn. No. They don't understand opportunity.
Right.
Perfect. I now had to start looking for something. Remember, I got this degree, this piece of paper, but most people want what? Experience. So I only got about 10 months of experience. So it's on my resume. I'm sending things out. And, bro, I was going on interview after interview after interview after interview. And nobody was giving me a shot. I was forced to go get on unemployment. Never forget it, man. Never forget going to the office, filling out the paperwork, going online, filling out the documents, and I was getting like $200 a week.
Wow. So this was like rock bottom for you. Rock bottom is something it's a theme that I bring up, and where often a lot of entrepreneurs in particular that I talk to, multimillionaires, hyper successful people, every single one of us has a moment where there was nothing else. It was kind of like either for you, for me, got kicked out of my apartment, had to move back in with my mom. I was talking to Drew, shooting with Drew yesterday. I was talking about that. I was like, yeah,
right.
Thought I had the world.
People don't understand. Rock bottom turns you into a rock. You either gonna crumble,
right,
or you're gonna be turned into a rock. It's gonna harden you up. That's exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yep.
Because people don't understand polarity, law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. If things are terrible right now, congratulations, there's an opportunity.
Can only get
There's
better.
an opportunity in that because everything has an opposite. So I wasn't ashamed. I went and got unemployment.
Yeah.
Stood in line, got the documents, got approved. And here it is. There were some weeks because I was making that money that I wasn't as motivated to go out and look for a job. I'm okay with admitting that. There was some days I would just sit in my house and do whatever, fuck off. There was some days where I would look for jobs. But then it got to a point where it was like, bro, this $200 is not going to cut it, man. $200 a week is not going to cut it. It's like, yeah, I'm able to pay my rent. My rent's only $5.75, but this is not going to cut it, man. Like, I got to find something.
Right.
So I started looking and looking and looking. And, bro, the only company that gave me a shot was a sales position. And this is what happened. I never forget, I was going on these interviews after interview after interview. And I was just tired of going to interviews because I wasn't getting callbacks. Yeah. I wasn't getting callbacks. So I never forget, bro, I never forget this day, rest of my life, man. I'm laying in my bed. I got an interview at like 1 o'clock. It's like 12 o'clock. And I live 45 minutes from the interview place. And I ain't got ready. I ain't put my suit on. I ain't did nothing. I'm just sitting in the bed. Never forget, I was just laying in the bed, just looking up, just thinking. And I was like, I ain't going to interview, man. I'm going to all these interviews and, you know, nobody's giving me a call back. And there's just a little voice in the back of my mind. Bro, I know it had to be God, the universe, his homeboy. Somebody said, go to the interview. And I was like, okay, I'll go to the interview. Grabbed my phone, called them. I said, hey, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm coming from the south side of town. There's a little bit of traffic. Is it okay if I still come in? I'm probably about 45 minutes late. She was like, let me ask the manager. Yeah, you can go ahead and come in. Boom. Hopped in the shower, threw a suit on, shot up 75 North in Atlanta, Georgia, up to Sandy Springs, went to the interview. Never forget, walking in, the office was nice. It's a nice office. The receptionist, she was very sweet. I still remember her. Here it is, I'm sitting here. I got my resume, etc. At that time, I had the wide leg suits. I don't know if everybody knew, a suit person. They used to have what's called the wide leg suits. These are the suits Steve Harvey used to wear.
Oh yeah, that's
with the wide legs.
I was thinking,
right.
Yeah.
The Steve Harvey suit. I had a Steve Harvey suit on.
Flapping the wind a little bit.
Flapping in the wind, bro. I had the big Steve Harvey suit. And here it is. I'm waiting for this interview. And to the left, I look to the left, and this hot shot fly white boy comes out the office. Fly, bro. On some Jerry Maguire shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. So he comes, he grabs me, and I go into the office, and there's another guy in a fly suit. So these two guys with fly suits on. So I was like, just their appearance alone, I'm liking what I'm seeing. So we just start talking. He's asking me basic questions. And then he goes into the opportunity, and I'm listening, but I really don't understand what he's talking about. Like, I don't know what the actual position is. But I just wanted to be around these guys. I just wanted to be around them. They just looked like they were just making money. Yeah. They carried themselves like they were. They spoke like they were. They had the aura. There's an aura of money. What I don't think most people don't understand is you can look like you're somebody that's doing something.
Right.
There's a look, right? So these guys had it. So I'll never forget, they ended the interview, went home, and I got a call that afternoon. She was like, hey, they liked you. They want to invite you back for a second round interview. I was like, great. When is it? You can come tomorrow. Perfect. I was on time for that one. Right. So I got there, got to the office. They say, hey, we're going to introduce you to a guy named Justin. Still remember this dude. Shook Justin's hand. She said, hey, look, the second round interview was off-site. We're going to take you to the field. I didn't know what the field was. If you're a salesperson, you know what the field is. You're going out. You're selling something. Yep. So here it is. We go out to the field. We go to they were doing retail sales. They were doing retail sales for AT&T. So we're doing AT&T retail sales. So I'll never forget, man, he's setting everything up, and he just starts talking to people in the retail store. The retail store was called Fry's Electronics. You ever heard of a Fry's Electronics? No. That's something that they have in Atlanta. Okay. They may have it in different parts of the city, but they had it in Atlanta.
It's like a general electronics store?
It's like a Best Buy. Okay. It's like the red version of Best Buy. Best Buy is blue and yellow. Fry's is red and gray. Got you. That's all it is. It's like a red Best Buy. So he sets up, man, and he just starts talking to all the customers. And he's just talking. And within 20 minutes, he's talking to this lady, and he's doing his presentation with this lady. And she was like, okay, everything sounds good. Let's do it. And he's signing the lady up. And in 20 minutes, she walks away. And he was like, yeah, man, I just made $100. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I says, okay. I says, how many of these you do a day? He says, I do about 3 to 5 a day. I said, 3 to 5 a day? At that time, I'm coming off of unemployment. $200 a week. Yeah. If you do 2 times 4, that's $800 a week. Bro, he's making $300 to $500 a day. I'm quick with math. I was like, okay, how many days a week? He said 6 days a week. I was like, oh, shit, let's roll. Shit, I was like, what I have to do? I can work a little extra. I can do an extra day. I said, what do I need to do? He's like, okay, if you want a position, you got to go back to the office and talk to what's the name. I was like, perfect. Went back to the office, did the wrap up, and got a call later that evening. They say, hey, man, they loved you and they want to bring you aboard. And, man, that's when I started my career in commission sales, selling cable, TV, and internet. And that's when that pit bull was put behind me and I was forced to run because they wasn't giving me no money. I had to go earn it.
It was
every day.
100% commission.
100% commission, bro.
That's a rule, man. So
I had to go earn it now.
Yeah, I'm in tech sales, right? So tech sales a little bit different. I'd say very different, but still a sales job. So, but very similar, right? So the way that it works in tech sales is you have a quota. What's interesting about that, especially at that level, is if you don't meet your quota, you're just done. You're done. You're just fired. So everybody that you're competing with can at least sell a certain amount, right?
That's right.
It is unlimited opportunity, right? You can make a ton of money, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it is, like you said, you put that pit bull behind you because a pit bull, unlike a regular job where it's like,
you can slack off.
You can slack off hella. Don't show up, bro, whatever.
You can skate all day long.
Right. And sales would be like, they don't care if you come in. They don't care. They just like, you did not sell.
Produce.
We need you to sell 7 widgets and you sold 2. Explain. Right. All right. Well, let's see if you can do it for the next quarter. If not, you're done. And that's about all the chances you get in sales.
That's right.
But on the upside, if you quota 7 widgets and you sell 30.
That's right. Ooh. At that point, I discovered the power of like giving value. Mm-hmm. Like before I was like all the jobs that I had, because I had a couple jobs up until that point. I remember I did security, late night security, to where I was just sitting at a post and just getting paid a certain amount per hour, worked at Zaxby's. You know, I had all these odd jobs, but it was based on the hour. Right. Like the sales job, it wasn't based on the hour. It was based on me. Like I can make a couple $100 in 2 hours. Right. Or I can make $0 in 2 hours. Like the time didn't matter. It mattered on the value that I was bringing when I was on the sales floor. So that's when I discovered commission. I was like, bro, I can't believe I'm just not discovering this. Now, obviously I was doing it in college when I was selling shoes, but I didn't understand the meaning behind it and the value behind it. So I was like, okay, this here is something. I have no cap. So basically what I discovered was, okay, I ain't got no ceiling. So on weeks that I suck, you suck. It's okay. You make 0. Cool. You won't be on the street. But I know you, Alex. I know you, bro. You're never going to not work. Right. I know me. I know I'm going to go on that sales floor and actually work. I'm not going to play around. I'm not going to skedaddle. I'm not going to be on my phone. I'm actually going to work. So if I know if I'm actually going to work, I should be able to do something. And that's what I did. I was able to produce 99.9% of the time I was on the sales floors because I was actually working. Right. But the thing is not only was I actually working, I was doing something most people don't do. I was analyzing everything. I was analyzing people's body language. I was analyzing when people were lying to me. I was analyzing when I was intimidated from a customer. I was analyzing when a customer was intimidated by me. I was analyzing when I'm talking to a dude's wife and he walks up and he sees this handsome dude in this suit talking to his wife. I see he has an attitude and he don't want to sign up now because he thinks I'm trying to hit on his wife. And really, I'm just trying to get the wife about the goddamn cable service. Like, bro, I was on it, bro. Yeah. I was analyzing everything. It was almost like I was talking with a good friend yesterday, Adam, of 12 years. He's the one that you met. And we were talking about the movie Limitless. And we were talking about how when Bradley Cooper took the Limitless pill, he started to become, really what the pill did was it just make him aware. Right, aware of everything. It just increased his awareness of everything. And we were talking about, and I said, Adam, do you know the first thing he did when he took that pill? And he says, what? The first thing he did was he cleaned his house. That's crazy. He started to clean his goddamn house. He wasn't even aware that his house was dirty. Right. Most people right now have a dirty ass house. Your room's dirty. This is dirty. There's dishes in the sink. You ain't even aware enough to clean your own goddamn house. Preaching right now, man. So for me, I was on that sales floor just becoming aware of all these things that I wasn't aware of before I got on the sales floor. I started to become aware of body language, tonality, this, that, boom, 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 to the point to where I was producing every week. Every week I was producing. And then it got to the point to where I started making a little more money. I went from staying in the hundreds per week to the thousands per week. Holy shit, bro. That's when I went into overdrive. That's when my confidence. I'm gonna tell everybody something. Confidence is something that's built. Mm-hmm. You're not walking out of here with no confidence. Confidence is no different from the gym. It's daily repetition, doing something that's going to make you confident. So if you're a person who's on the sales floor and you're signing up people day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, week after week after week, month after month after month, you can become a confident person.
Thanks.
You're going to become confident. Because when that person comes up to you, you've got 100 sales under your belt. You now talking shit. You now got a smirk on your face. You now are confident, this and that. You know you can get the sale. And even if you don't get the sale, you don't care anyway. Because you know somebody's about to get it because you know you do this.
I'll tell you what, man, that's 100% true. So I'll tell you a story. So I was a runner, right? In high school, the first hurdle race I ran was 300-meter hurdles, which is almost a lap, right? I was a jumper at the time. My coach was like, Forrest, you're good at skill sports. You should do this.
Right.
I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do all that running, right? I win the race, first place. I'm exhausted, dying.
Right.
I was like, man, that sucks, but I won. I like winning, so I do it again. Win the next one. I'm like, So then I run the next one, win again. So at this point, my ego, it goes from like, I don't give a fuck about this event to
it's everything.
I kind of give a fuck about the event. So then I win, next week, win. So by the end of the season, I'm undefeated, by the way.
Really?
So I was undefeated the entire year.
You said the 100-mile hurdle?
300-meter hurdles.
300-meter hurdle, okay.
Went to state, won state, right? So I started running my junior year, and from that time throughout my senior year, I was undefeated. And what's crazy is you talk about confidence being built, right?
Built,
so
baby.
race by race. And by the end of it, it got to the point where when I walked up to the line, I remember this feeling. This sounds like I peaked in high school, but I didn't because I ran in college, but D1. And I knew I wasn't going to lose. And imagine, and you can do that. The lesson there is that you can do that in all aspects of life. So I took that to my sales job, right? So sales, everything that I did, I knew that if I could produce a small win, if you could do the first small win, it's like, all right, I just got to do that again. I'm not doing something new. The new thing was winning. Now it's not new anymore. Now I just got to win again. That's not new. Then I just got to win again, right? So you've already eliminated all future anxiety if you can just win one time and you build up that confidence, right? And suddenly anything's possible, right? You can do anything's possible. So it all just starts with that first win. So you're crushing it in that sales job. You're not doing that today. So what was the when did you jump from that into the next thing?
Great question.
Right.
So at the end of 2018, by that time, I had become a manager and I had offices all over the Southeast.
Okay.
I had built up a big team to where I had people in different markets selling the services, and I was making commission off of every sale. So I had built up a big organization and a team. But it got to the point to where one of my bigger secrets I tell people about my life is my personal development journey. Like, I'm very big in personal development. Like, I started my personal development journey in 2008 when I discovered what the book Think and Grow Rich was. When I discovered what the book The Magic of Thinking Big was. When I discovered Napoleon Hill. Like, this was all in 2008. I didn't know anything about these dudes, man. Yeah. Like, I was clueless to it. But I ended up going on a seminar. A guy seen me posting all my shoes and clothes that I was selling in college, right? He says, man, I really like your stuff, this and that. Man, I want to introduce you to my mentor. I was like, who's your mentor? He was like, this so-and-so person. He invited me to a meeting, and I never forget meeting this multi-millionaire man, telling about how he got there, how he got to where he was, and he was always talking about personal development. And I was like, hold on. So you mean to tell me I could develop myself into a person that can have success? Because I didn't think success was possible. I just thought I was just gonna be some hustler, just, odd jobs here and there, this and that. But I was like, hold on, I can develop myself into a person. And when I discovered that, man, I started diving deep in personal development, the books, the audio tapes, the CDs, like the greatest of the greats I was listening to at that time. So that was helping me mold myself. By the time I got to the sales job, I already knew what it took to win at the sales job. I had a jump on everybody. The jump I had on everybody in that office, it was like 50, 60 people in that office, was I understood this is a mindset thing. I understood it. Yeah, they ran meetings every day. They had the trainings, et cetera, and this and that. But I really understood what I was doing.
Right.
I really understood it. I said, this right here is a mindset course. Like, I can't quit. And there would be people who would quit all the time. Why? It's because it's commission. It's commission. Meaning if you suck, you don't make no money, you get fired anyway. So those people getting fired and quitting.
What do you think is the biggest blocker? I'm curious your thoughts on this. I have my own thoughts on just sales in general, but what's the biggest reason that people fail in sales?
Oh, simple belief. They don't believe.
They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in
They don't believe in themselves, and they don't believe in the product. But I would say 95% of the time, they don't believe in themselves because the product don't matter. When you're going into a company, you don't know what the damn company sells.
Right.
There's so many commission sales companies out there. They're all selling their product, whether it's vacuum cleaners, pest control, solar, cable, whatever it is. They're all making sales, right? So if they're all selling the product, is it the product or is it the person? It's the person. The person doesn't believe.
Right.
The person. So me coming into that sales position, because I was already a semi-confident person, all I needed to do was learn the product knowledge of what I was selling. And I knew I was going to be able to go out there and talk to these people. So it was me. So most people fails because of them.
Yep. Facts. And I always say when you look at, so the deals, enterprise sales, right? The deals are like 7-figure deals. So you're trying to convince a business organization to spend anywhere from $500,000 to like a couple $1,000,000 on whatever it is you're selling. So they're looking for any sign of weakness or disbelief. And it's really easy to understand how to do sales if you've ever bought something, right? You go to the car dealership, talk to the car salesman, right? That person has to believe that giving you a car is the best thing that's going to happen to you in your life, right? Because you imagine you go to a car dealership and you talk to somebody and they're like, I want to buy an F-250. And they're just like, I mean, you could, but and that's the conversation. And a lot of people show up to sales with that energy and they're just like, yeah, well, here's a product and, you know, it does this and some people find it useful and, you know, let me know if you have any questions.
Right.
And it's like, let me know if you have any questions. You know, it's like, what are you talking about? So it's all about, and it's
the person walked on the lot. Are you stupid?
Right. So it's all about that belief, right? Belief is contagious, right? So when you believe in yourself, you believe in a product, people will believe in you, right? And
that's right.
And they'll buy it. So yeah, 100% agree with that, man. So you utilize that self-belief and that confidence, that personal development that you had to immediately come in, have the jump on everybody else and be successful in that role. What was the next phase for you after that, right? So you're a manager, you had the stores.
Right. Great question. So towards the end of my sales career, man, I discovered Airbnb. Okay. So I was like, man, what's this? This was 2018. Yep. So I was like, man, this Airbnb thing looks pretty cool. You know, I want to start one because I stayed in a couple of them and I really liked it. That's how I discovered it. Somebody was like, Alex, you're living in hotels because you're moving around. Stop spending all these money on hotels, man. Go get you an Airbnb. I'm like, what's that? What's an Airbnb? Right. So I downloaded the app. I stayed in 1 or 2 of them. I was like, man, I really like this. I was like, I wonder how much money they're making on me because I just spent $1,000 for 4 days. Like, that's pretty expensive. So I looked into it and I discovered that the apartment that I was staying in, the rent was only $1,400 a month. But I just paid $1,000 for 4 days. Light bulb. Most people be like, oh, okay. No, ain't no okay. There's money in there, bro. Somebody's making some money. So I looked into it. I was like, I'm gonna go start an Airbnb in the same building. That's what I did. That's how curious and smooth and quickly I moved. I went and started an Airbnb in the same building. First month, made like $1,500. I said, okay. Second month, made more than that. So I went and got a second one. I went to the fourth month. I said, okay, I'm taking all the money I'm making, and I went and got a third Airbnb. So December 2018, I had 3 Airbnbs. And I said, oh, you know what? I want to go for this thing full time. Okay. Like I want to take my destiny in my own hands. I want to go to this thing full time. So 2019 comes around. I'm now just picking up Airbnbs. This is in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I was living at the time. Okay. Anybody knows anything about Nashville, Tennessee? Is a very, very big tourism city for country music. Yep. So thousands of people come in every single day coming to see the country music scene. So they need places to stay. The thing about Nashville, Tennessee is the hotel room rates per night are so high. They're so high that an Airbnb that's $350 a night is a deal. Right. It's a deal. So here it is. I got all these Airbnbs and I'm making money. I'm making $15,000 a month doing Airbnb and I'm crushing it and doing and I'm excited about it because I'm making money, right? And I started talking about it on social media. I started talking about it on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll never forget a good friend of mine. He was like, Alex, man, I see you doing this Airbnb thing, man. I want to learn about it. I was like, absolutely, bro. Whatever you need to know, I'll tell you about it. He was like, when can we connect? I said, you know what, man? You was such a great friend to me all these years. I'm going to drive down to your city and we can sit down and talk about it. He was in Savannah, Georgia. So I drove from Nashville to Savannah, Georgia to sit down and talk to my friend to show him this opportunity.
Yeah.
When in actuality, I was driving to Savannah, Georgia to find the opportunity that would change my life.
What was that?
Wholesaling. So I get down to Savannah. I'm at a Starbucks drinking a coffee with my friend. He says, hey, my other friend wants to come by. He wants to learn about this Airbnb thing too. I say, no problem. His friend pulls up, shake his hand. I say, hey, man, what do you do? He said, man, I do something called wholesaling. I was like, what's that? He said, basically, when you're just flipping, house contracts for a profit. I was like, okay, that sounds cool.
Explain to the viewers that don't know what wholesaling is, like a house contract, right?
Right. So it's very simple. Let's say I get a property under contract, right? Yep. Let's say I get 123 Main Street in Miami, Florida, under contract for $200,000. Like a seller says, hey, I'll sell you, Alex, my house for $200,000. So I literally get a contract, written up purchase sale agreement. We both sign it. I'm going to buy the house for $200,000. Now, most people will be like, well, Alex, I ain't got $200,000. You don't need $200,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this contract and I'm going to find somebody, and that somebody is an investor, an actual fix and flipper. I'm not a fix and flipper. I'm a deal finder. So I'm going to find a fix and flipper who's willing to pay $220,000 for this contract because the house is actually worth $400,000. But the house needs a lot of work. It's vacant. It needs to be renovated. It needs paint, carpet, new appliances, everything. It's going to take about $50,000 to fix this place up. The seller who's selling me the house, he's an old man. He's 65 years old. He doesn't want to renovate it no more. He'd just rather sell it. So I now got this property under contract for $200,000. I'm going to go find a fix and flipper. I'm going to say, hey, Mike, this house here is worth $400,000. I'll sell you this house here for $220,000. He looks at it. He was like, that's a deal. I can make money on this. He'll bring to the closing table $220,000 on the day of closing. He'll wire it in. The title company lawyer, he'll take $200,000 out of that money, and he's going to give it to the old landlord. So he now has his $200,000, and that $20,000 spread goes to me.
Easy money.
Easy money.
So you started doing that?
I started doing that in 2020. Here's the thing. That guy told me about it. I didn't take action on it. Didn't think about it no more. I spoke to that same guy later that year. It's 2019, December. He calls me out the blue. He says, hey, Alex, I got my first Airbnb. I was like, man, congratulations. What do you need help with? He says, well, what do I do here? I said, do this, 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 and this. He's like, okay, thank you, man. Appreciate it. I said, no problem. I said, hey, man, tell me about that thing you was doing again. He was like, yeah, man, you got to do this, 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 this. I was like, man, that sounds too good to be true. That sounds too easy. And I didn't realize what I was saying. I said, it sounds too good to be true, which is the stupidest statement I've ever heard in my life. Is because why would something sound so good that is not true?
Right.
Who would want something that's so good that is not true? Well, that's the whole point. Right. The whole point is you want it to be true. You want it to be good, right? It's like buying cheesecake. It's like, how much is that cheesecake? Well, that cheesecake is only $2, but it's the best cheesecake in town. No, that's too good to be true. No, it's too good of a deal. But there's a line around the corner of everybody getting a cheesecake. No, that's an issue in your brain. That was an issue with me. It wasn't that the opportunity was too good to be true. I was looking at it as a negative. I was looking at it as, oh, well, because it sounds too easy, don't do it. No, that's an issue with me that I was having. So what I did was I started to look into it. The next month comes around, January 2020, and I'm on Facebook scrolling, right? And I see an old friend of mine, and he's talking about real estate. I was like, oh, okay, so he's doing real estate now like me. Let me reach out to him. And we started talking. He was like, I said, yeah, I'm doing Airbnb right now. I said, what are you doing? He says, man, I'm doing wholesaling. I was like, man, you doing this thing too? He was like, yeah. He was like, wow, you must have was looking into it. And I was like, yeah, man, I've been looking into it for the past like 30 days or whatever. I was just kind of not looking into it, but I was thinking about it.
Right.
He's like, yeah, man, I already made $20,000 this month. I said, man, you made $20,000 this month? This is what most people have to understand. You got to be competitive in life. If you're not competitive in life, you're never going to get a competitive advantage. And this is what I mean. That dude said he made $20,000 for the month, right? I looked at him and I said, if you can make 20, I can make 40.
Like that.
Like that. That's what I said in my head. I was like, oh, so you made 20,000. Bro, if I know you can do this, I know I can do it, bro. I know I can do it. That's the day I got into wholesaling. I got into wholesaling because of that dude, because he was doing better than me.
Right.
That's how I got into the business. Most people don't understand. It doesn't matter how you get into something or what motivates you. It's just that will the opportunity do what it's supposed to do to get you off your ass? And for me, I was low-key envious. I was like, you made $20,000 a month? Oh, no, bro. Let me get into this wholesaling thing and see how I can make me some money. Bro, that was January 2020, bro. I got into that business. This is what happened. For the next 9 months, I got in that business, but I struggled. If anybody remembers, March of 2020, something happened. This was called COVID-19. Shut the entire world down. Now everybody's stuck in the house, March 2020. So I just told you I had an Airbnb business, right? So I had all these properties, right? But March 2020, they halted all flights around the world. All planes are now halted, which means that nobody was coming into where? Nashville. It was all shut down. My business went from here to here, just like that. So all the money that I had coming in stopped on that one day to where they did the national shutdown.
Yeah.
That day, all my calendar got wiped. They wiped my entire calendar, bro.
Damn.
So I'm like, damn, man, what I'm gonna do? Well, luckily for me, I'm already been looking at this little wholesaling thing. At the time, it was just a little wholesaling thing. So I was like, man, well, let me just learn this thing, man. I mean, I'm stuck in the house. I can learn it. I can find a mentor, etc. So what I did was I just had like a little bit of money left over. I found a coach, a guy who knew what he was doing. I said, how much is your program? He said, my program is this. I was like, shit, I ain't got the money. So what I did was I spent the next few days trying to scramble up a couple grand. Luckily for me, my tax check came within 2 weeks of me trying to look for the money. See, most people don't understand this. God has the back of people who are trying. See, most people, they're not excelling in life right now, or they're not getting, I would say, lucky breaks.
Right.
Is because they're not trying.
Right.
They probably think they're trying, but you're only trying if you're on your last.
Right.
You're only trying if you're giving something up truly. I didn't have any money. I was trying to give this dude my last few thousands of dollars to learn. And here it is. I'm thinking for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm like, man, I'm gonna find this money, bro. I'm locked in the house. I can't go nowhere. Everybody remembers this time. You're locked in the house, bro. Right. Yeah, you can hop in your car and drive around, but ain't nothing open.
Right, everything's closed.
Everything's
gyms
closed,
are closed.
Bro. Gyms closed, restaurants closed, only gas station, you can only pump outside. Everything's closed, bro.
Yeah, when they closed the gyms, that's when I lost I was living in New York at the time.
Right.
I was like, yo, I got it. That's why I'm in Miami.
Right.
Now.
Right.
Because of COVID.
Go right.
I was
so,
like,
bro, I couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't do nothing. Only thing I can do is walk around my neighborhood
right.
or walk around my house. That's all I could do. Luckily, man, my tax check came in, bro. What are the odds of my tax check coming in?
Perfect timing.
At that time, it wasn't no odds, man.
Yeah.
That was a higher power looking out for me, man. So, man, I got my tax check. I broke dude off. I said, man, I want you to teach me everything you know. For the next 4 months, every Tuesday at 10 a.m., I sat on Zoom, and that dude just taught me the game. He was teaching me the game. He was teaching me the game. He was teaching me the game. 4 months goes by. I still haven't done any deals yet, but now I know what I'm doing, though. See, beforehand, I was just working it. I didn't know what I was doing. Now, I'm not making money, but I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the gym. I go to the gym every day. There's a lot of people in the gym working out, but they ain't gonna ever get in shape.
Yeah.
It's because they don't understand they're working out, they're working it, but they're not working it correctly. I wasn't working it correctly in the beginning. I was just working it. When I got a coach, I'm now working it correctly towards results. So, man, it took me 9 months. On October 1st, 2020, never forget, man, I was cold calling. I was making thousands of calls a day. Thousands of calls a day. I had a laptop. I had a headset. I had a big list of leads, and I was cold calling thousands of people a day. I was cold calling from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. Oof. I found a lady who said, yeah, I want to sell my house right now. I'm behind on the mortgage. The house needs to be fully renovated. I haven't lived in the house in a couple months. The house needs a ton of work, and I'm starting chemotherapy treatment in a couple weeks. So this lady needed the money.
Yeah.
She needed the money. So got that house under contract with her. I gave the exact example how I found a buyer, right? I got on Facebook. I started marketing it. I found the buyer. I found a fix and flipper who's willing to come in and pay a little more. I got that property under contract for $175. I found a guy who was willing to pay $196 for it. On October 1st, 2020, I did my first wholesale deal where I made $21,000. It was my first piece of revenue at that time for like 5 months. I was tapped out, bro. I had nothing. I was at zero.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget that day, bro. I took that money. I went and paid my landlords. I was behind 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
I went and paid my landlords. They was the first people I paid. Paid a couple bills. Made sure I paid the light bill so light don't go off. Internet bill, this, that, da. Had a few grand left. That same day, I put that headset back on. And I started calling Monday through Sunday. For the next 18 months, I was doing about 2 to 4 deals a month. For the next 18 months, I was making about $55,000 per month. I hit $1 million in 18 months flat.
Nice.
From doing that.
50 grand, yeah, 50 grand a month. That's about right. Yeah.
50 grand a month in the 18 months, it's about $1 million.
Yeah.
So what's the point of the story? The point of the story is there was a champion inside of me that had to be pulled out.
Yeah.
It was a champion inside of me. I was already a champion. But the champion behind me had to be pulled out, man. And there's different levels of champion in everybody.
Yeah.
There's different levels. So it was the first time of me really having taste of making some money during that 18 months and beyond.
Yeah. So, and I think the theme there, right? And thanks for sharing that story, is you were cornered, right? So in every aspect of your life, it's, and I'm going to say the word cornered, and I think that's a little triggering for people because people are afraid of being cornered. They're like, I want to make $1 million. I want to be a multimillionaire, but I don't want
to be cornered though.
I don't want to be cornered though.
Yeah.
That's why they have that gut reaction, but it's like
it's not only happen if you're not cornered, bro.
There's only one way. There's a price to pay, right? And that the price to pay is certainty, it's comfort, it could be current relationships, lifestyle, right? You could be comfortable, have a nice little mid-luxury car, driving around town in a little Mercedes or whatever it is you got. You go to happy hour with your friends every Friday, but if you want to be in this different class of individuals, you're going to have to take a step down, get cornered, give all that shit up in order to get to that next step. And that's what it looks like. I could tell you guys after talking to like you and so many other people, man, it's the same for everybody. There's only one way forward, and that's if you are laser focused and committed to achieving a singular goal, one singular purpose. Otherwise, all those other things are essentially distractions. Right? That comfort is a distraction, man.
That's right. Coming
home and being able to just sit down, put your feet up, 55-inch TV, relax for 2 hours. That's a distraction.
Right.
It will 100% stop you from realizing your purpose.
That's right.
So you're wholesaling, you make a ton of money doing that. So what are you working on today? Where did you get from there to kind of what are you working on now?
Still cranking deals, bro.
Still cranking?
I'm still cranking deals, bro. It's funny. A few days ago was the 1st of October, right?
Yep.
I did a deal October 1st.
Nice.
Like I've been doing deals for 4 years straight.
Nice.
Here's what most people mess up. They start doing well at something and they start wanting to pivot or diversify or do multiple streams of income. The dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, no one gets rich on multiple streams of income.
Thank you. Thank you for somebody telling me that. You're not getting rich off of multiple streams of income. Bro, do you know how hard it is to make a lot of income off of one stream?
Yeah. Well, you get rich off of one stream.
Right.
And then when you want to relax, you diversify. Yeah.
So anybody who's talking about multiple streams of income and they're not like rich for real, I'm like, bro, you're not gonna make no money.
Go look at any example. Nobody gets rich. Like nobody gets rich. You can maintain rich. But your wealth generation is as soon as you do that, it's going to slow down, by the way.
That's right.
Right. So say you make $20 million selling. All right. Then you get into real estate. You're going to maintain your wealth. Yeah. It's going to slow down a lot.
Significantly.
It'll be fine.
Right.
But you're not going to go from 20 to 30 as fast.
Right.
Right.
It comes from mastering something, doing something over and over and over and over and sharpening your skills. Bro, I don't know any professional in today's world that we live in that got rich off of multiple things. They got rich off of one thing first.
Right.
And I named the biggest stars on planet Earth. Michael Jordan got rich off of basketball first. Then he started doing other stuff. Yep. Floyd Mayweather got rich off of boxing. Then he started doing other stuff. Tiger Woods, golf. Then he started doing other stuff. Roger Federer, tennis. Then he started doing other stuff. It doesn't matter who you are. You name any top person, they made it off of one thing first. Then they start doing other stuff. You got to get good at one thing. It takes years to get good at one thing.
Right. So good
years.
So good as well. And whether you're a competitor or not, you're gonna have to be if you want to be exceptionally wealthy. So you can get lucky, right? Let's just ignore. I always say I'm not lucky, right? I do end up in the right place at the right time though, because I've eliminated all the other places. I've failed over and over and over. There's only one motherfucking place left.
Right.
And I'm there.
That's right.
When the opportunity comes, right?
Right.
So luck favors the prepared is what I'll say, right? So if you're prepared, if you're trying, if you're always at bat, you're always swinging, and eventually you'll eliminate all the other options and you'll arrive at the right place. But you have to be extremely good, especially in sales, right? So I'm in my business, right? I literally know who all my competitors are, I know what their products do, right? And again, my customers are enterprises, right? And so they're making a choice, but often it's exactly competitive. They're like, hey, we're looking at you guys, and they'll tell us we're also looking at this vendor and we're looking at this vendor. So you literally are in a direct competitive environment, and you're trying to win, right? You're trying to win the deal. That's the terminology that we'd use. And so in all aspects of life, whether you want to be, right? So I have a YouTube channel now, and people have X amount of minutes in a day, doesn't matter what it is. And it's like, I'm trying to convince somebody, hey, spend 12 minutes watching my video, not because I hate these other creators or don't want them to do well, but it's like, you, Alex, have X amount of minutes that you're going to watch a YouTube video in a day. Right. And I'm really trying to get you to watch mine instead of literally anything else. You could watch a YouTube video on plants, painting, cars, aviation, suits, just some dumb shit, but please watch my video on day trading, right? That's the competition that we're all in, right? And so in all aspects of life, you have to compete, man. So I just want to say, thank you, man. I want to be respectful of your time. We're a little bit over an hour. Right. But yeah, man, ton of insights. I love ending these with 2 questions that I like to ask everybody. So the first question is, what are you most afraid of?
Man, I was talking with my friend about this yesterday. Bro, I am afraid of not maxing out life, bro. Like, I'm afraid of me dying before I reach my full potential. Yeah. Like, bro, I'm terrified. This is why I'm up every day, early, working. People ask me, what do you do for fun? I work for fun. Yeah. Like, okay, well, do you travel? Nope.
Do you think Nope. Do you think there's a negative side to that?
I mean, it could be.
Sure.
But every day I work towards this person that I want to become is a day closer. Yeah. Like, a lot of stuff is not as fun as people think. Right. Traveling, okay, cool. You see a couple places. You see some national treasures and monuments, cool. The club, been there, done that. Trying to date talk with multiple women, been there, done that. It's like, what else is there to do other than to produce? Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, that's what I want to do. I just want to work and produce. I want to know what life has to offer. I want to see how high I can go. I want to see how much money I can get. I want to see how ripped I can get. I want to see how famous I can become. I want to see how big I can grow my Instagram. I want to see how many people I can impact. I really want to see how high I can go, bro. Like, I'm treating life right now like Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. Or like the whatever game. How many levels can I go up in this game? How good can I be? Most people ain't treating life like a real game. People like to play video games. Right. Instead of be a character in real life.
I would say that a lot of people lie to themselves too, and they'll say, I'm not interested in the levels. I don't care about the money. I don't care about this. I don't care about that. When you ask them, because they're defensive. Right. But then when you're not asking them and they're not being defensive, they're like, yo, how'd you get that? Yo, can I? How do you? I want. And it's like, you already told me yesterday you don't want to play the game. Right? So no, I'm not going to tell you. Right. But my last question is, what are you most excited about?
Bro, I'm most excited about the potential of becoming this person. Yeah. Like, me making my first $1 million was mind blowing. I was like, damn, man, I made $1 million. Yeah, it took me 18 months, but shit, I didn't even think this shit was possible. Yeah. I only used to read about people like this, or I used to only go to seminars, and the guy who was on stage, he was the only person making that type of money. Like, I didn't even know it was possible.
Right. We were talking downstairs how 100K was, my goal out of college was to make $100,000 a year. Right. My first job, I made $55,000 a year. Right. I was like, 100K.
Bro, it's like, you rich, bro. People don't understand. There's levels in life. And every level that you're at, everything is amplified. If you're completely broke right now, $100,000 a year is like $100 million, bro. Yep. It's because of where you are. It's because of the view of where you are. But when you get to 100,000, you're like, bro, I'm broke making 100,000.
Yeah.
And then when you get to 1 million, it's like, well, it's not as much as I thought it was. So every level, there's a new devil, as my mentor used to say. Every level, there's a new devil. So I'm just excited, man, of the journey. Because one thing that I used to tell myself was I should have been more grateful in my sales days, bro. I wasn't as grateful as I should have been. I wasn't as focused as I should have been.
For the moment that you had?
For the moment that I had. Like, I was still partying. I was still out drinking, partying, kicking it with girls. Around that time, I had that sales position. And when I look back now, it's like, man, I wish I would just chucked all that shit out the window and just stayed focused, getting to the office early, leaving the office late, studying my notes, having more meetings. I could have had one extra meeting a week with the manager. I could have had one extra meeting a week with my sales trainer. I could have read one extra book a week. I could have read one book a month. So when I look at those early years of my sales days, I'm like, man, fuck, man. I wish I was just so much more serious. And this is why now today, I'm just grateful for everything in the moment. It's like when things ain't going my way, bro, it's okay, bro. It's okay. I'm learning. It's because I remember my sales days when I had bad weeks or this and that, it was always a come up because of the issue I was having. There was always an opportunity in the mess that I was going through. And when you think about the past, right? And you think about some of your most fucked up moments, you can just laugh at them now. You're like, man, why was I tripping, bro?
Right.
Nothing in that moment, man. So for me, my biggest regret, man, is I wish I was just so much more focused because I didn't understand how serious that was for me at that time. Like, I was being molded, bro. Like, all the stuff that I learned in that sales position is the person that I am today, but I could be sharper.
Yeah.
I could be a little better.
Is there a duality between like that introspection and acceptance of, because I think the same thing sometimes. It's like, man, I've learned so much, but I kind of could have did it sooner.
Right, exactly.
You know?
I could have done it a little sooner. I could be a little sharper. I could have a little more money right now.
Right, but then accepting.
And then accepting is like, okay, I get it. But let's not make the mistake today. Let me make sure I'm on it today. Exactly. So that's what I'm doing.
Love that, bro. Well, man, I appreciate you joining me on the show, man. I love this conversation. Absolutely. Where can people find you? You can find me on Instagram. Instagram is where I hang out at. Instagram at Alex M. Inman. That's AlexMinman. You can hit me on Instagram. I'm always checking my DMs. And if you need anything when it comes to personal development, coaching, mentorship, I have the whole 9. Hit me there. Awesome. Folks, check it out. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. Of course, subscribe. If you haven't, you're crazy. Hit the notification bell. Check out Alex, his socials, everything he has to offer. If you're looking to get into wholesaling coaching, I think his resume speaks for itself at this point. If you watch the whole show, of course, I appreciate each and every one of you spending a moment of your life with me and all of the things that I'm producing. Have a blessed day. Catch you in the next one. Peace. I'm never gonna look back, 'cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast, and that's fact.